What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Friday. It is May 2nd. We're breaking down the entire slate, the entire day for you right here. So if you've never been here before, you can already tell the video is a little bit longer, but watch it in its entirety. Check out the chapters. We're going to break down everything that you need. If you need a little bit more help, you can always go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Make sure you are on this website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, to sign up. We are not another website, so make sure it's this website if you guys do sign up. So you can check us out for a week, a month, a year, or even a lifetime pass. We try to have giveaways in these videos every single day. We try to have 2. Now, yesterday, I do believe I forgot to say the key word. So I do apologize. I think that some of you thought it was weather because you kept typing it in, but we try to have 2 giveaways every single day. Here's how you can win both times. You gotta like this video, you gotta be a subscriber to the channel, and you must leave a comment. If you do all of those and this video gets at least 50 likes, you will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. Now, that is a week of all sports. So every sport that's in that we do is in red here, outside of obviously NFL. So we've got baseball today. Basketball, we're winding down. It's getting to the point where it's not fun. NBA DFS anyway. So we might be winding that down. This might be the last weekend we do anything with it. I'm just kind of seeing like 1 to 2 games is not fun. But we have PGA that's usually on Thursdays. We have MMA on Saturday. I could still get tickets to MMA. I didn't realize it was in Des Moines, which is kind of cool. I could go to it if I wanted to, but I doubt I have time. But it's pretty cool that it's near where I live. We have NASCAR on Sundays. We've got it all for you. So if this video gets 50 likes, you will have a shot at a free week. If this video gets 100 likes, you will have a shot at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass. And the second way to win, somewhere in this video, I'll hopefully remember to say a keyword or key phrase, listen for it, type it in, and have your shot at a second free week. So what we're going to do is we are going to just have the one giveaway, and it's just because we got a minimum of 50 likes. So it triggers the views winner right here. So the winner due to the views is Ivan 19. I mean, you just won the other day. So congratulations. Congrats. There was no keyword. I completely forgot one yesterday. But congratulations, Ivan. Hit me up on email, which you can find the email down below. I know you know it. Just email me and say you are the winner of the 5-1 video keyword, and we will get you set up yet again. So this is what I'm telling you. The more you guys come back, the more you comment. Do not spam the comments, but comment daily. You will have a shot to win yet again. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down each game. So we're going to look at the 2 slates. We've got the early slate, then we got the main slate for a Friday. I'm very excited for it. And if you've never been here before, we break down the pitchers, we break down the batters, we break down BVP, historical matchups. We also look at weather, we look at ballpark factors, and we look at batter splits. It is all to help us kind of delve into each and every game to look at which teams might make the most sense to stack or double stack, and what players and games you kind of want to target a little bit more than other ones. So after we go through every single game, and I forgot to mention, we do 10,000 simulations before I do this video. So all this information is through 10,000 sims. We do 20,000 a day. We've already done the initial 10,000. What we're going to do is we're going to go through all of the games. Then we're going to go through all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. Then after that, we are going to go through our segment called Pitches Be Crazy. And what that is we look at the top 5 pitchers on the slate for the whole day against the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most. So you want to use that for DFS purposes. You want to use that for sports betting. We've got you covered. Then after that, we're going to do our newish segment called Makin Bacon Bets, where we go through all of the batters that we like, that have great matchups that we think could get over 1.5 bases. And then we'll look at some of the pitchers and kind of what the target I would look at for like strikeouts and stuff like that. So we've got that covered. And we are going to use Outlier. So if you want to check out Outlier, it's an awesome, and I'll show you exactly what it is. It breaks down every game. It's just compact where we need it. And we don't have to go from website to website to find everything here. But we do have a link if you want to sign up down below. You get a 7-day free trial. They have a normal package worth $20 a month. You check that out. If you guys sign up using our link and you show us proof you signed up after your 7-day free trial, we are going to give you a free week of FTA Plus. If you sign up for their Premier package, their Pro package, we're going to give you a month free of FTA Plus on top of what you get from Outlier. So we're going to show you, we're going to look through everything, and we are ready to go. So that being said, we've got some wind blowing out in some of these games that should factor into some home runs. So Kansas City at Baltimore has 17% chance of home runs. Arizona at Philly, both really great offenses if they take off, 30% chance for home runs. Great American Small Park, wind is blowing out there, 24% chance for home runs. We got Yankee Stadium, 27% chance of home runs, Tampa Bay at New York Yankees. And then guaranteed rate field, Houston at Chicago White Sox has a 10% chance and a boost for home runs in that one. So I wanted to give those for you before we dig into everything else. So we're going to look at the game. So we do have some weather, like every single game in this early slate, weather is a factor. Now, it has not been confirmed that is Mitchell Parker going up against Cincy, but it should be because he last pitched on Sunday, so this would be his 5th spot in the rotation. Now, these are early. Once we get all the news and notes and everything comes through, we will update our simulations, our projections, stuff like that on the website for you when it has been confirmed. But Hunter Green versus Mitchell Parker. If I were to take one, it would be it would be Hunter Green here. The weather scares me a little bit. That's kind of where I'm at. The bats that I would look at here, obviously Elly De La Cruz, James Wood. If you're not going with Hunter Green, CJ Abrams makes sense. Nate Lowe usually makes sense. Noel V. Marte. But again, the weather's a concern. We saw the weather on Thursday. I think they had a couple of delays in the game. And it's just kind of the same weather system that is pushing through. Hopefully by the time the game starts, this weather system is gone. But you can see, I mean, these are basically, it's all the same weather system. It's just unfortunate that all this early slate is weather. And that's kind of where I'm looking. So if I were to look at Cincy bats, it's definitely Elly De La Cruz, McLean, Marte, TJ Friedel. I would look at Friedel got on. He steals bases too. So, I mean, it's always a plus. And then you could always look at, depending on who the catcher is for Cincy, I don't mind Jose Trevino. Be a cheap option there early, 3,400. I don't think a lot of people will be off on him. So it's kind of where I'm looking at there. San Diego at Pittsburgh is the next game. We do have it here. And we've got Dylan Cease versus Mitch Keller. So kind of looking in this game, Cease has not looked himself, 5.76 ERA, really has not hit value. So if you've never been with us before, kind of a formula that we use for a minimum floor projection on at least DraftKings is you want 2 to 2.5 times value from your pitcher to feel comfortable. Basically, you want a 2 to 2.5, but also kind of the sweet spot for pitchers is like 8K or below since you have to pick 2. Cease has not hit value since his second start of the year. He's still priced at 8,500. He does have a great matchup here against Pittsburgh. Career-wise, 38 plate appearances, 270 batting average. So a handful of people have seen him on this team. Splits-wise, when he pitches at home, he has been better, but away it's 11 ERA. Again, that's 2 starts. So basically, we're so early in the season, home and away splits aren't really up in my mind right now when I'm looking. The fact is, Dylan Cease is expensive. Weather is a concern, and he has not looked great this year. Now, I'll let you know right now, I'm not always correct. I'm going to be wrong some of these times, but I'm trying to build out a support system for you guys, help you guys become better players. Mitch Keller, on the other hand, kind of the same thing. 4 ERA almost. Is coming off a great start. He's had 2 good starts this year, or 3 good starts this year. Cleveland, Washington did not do well. Obviously did not do well against the Yankees. Now gets to go up against San Diego, who normally they hit righties better. So we'll look at that, and that's exactly why we use Outlier. So San Diego bats against Keller in their career. Iglesias has a home run. Jason Hayward has a home run. Manny Machado has a home run. Against right-handed pitching, you can see, obviously the green means good, red means not so good, but you got to dig into the numbers just a little bit more. So Gavin Sheets batting 278 with 3 bombs. I don't mind him. Machado, I don't mind him. He just doesn't have any home runs against righties this year so far. Fernando Tatis Jr. smashing righties. 358 batting average with 8 bombs there. Obviously, he is always in, if you're going to stack, he's always in your lineup there. But honestly, like, if you want to go Keller for tournaments, because I don't think a lot of people will be on it, I'm okay with it. I don't love it. I'm probably not even playing this early slate, to be completely honest with you. I just don't. The weather's going to scare me away, I think. But we look at this. Like, if we look at what Pirates bats have done against righties this year, Brian Hayes batting 276, IKF batting 303. I don't know if IKF is hurt or he just had Thursday off, but he was not in the starting lineup. Valdez, 232 batting average with 2 home runs. O'Neill Cruz, 303 batting average with 7 bombs. McCutchen has 3 bombs. Like, you want to get crazy? I don't think a lot of people will be on a Pittsburgh stack today. And I'm okay with that. Like, you got to get a little bit creative when you're building your lineups. Then we got Arizona at Philly. Luzardo versus Merrill Kelly, not Mitch Kelly. 4.41 ERA from him. Like, value-wise, I mean, he had a great game against Miami, a good game against Baltimore, a very bad game against the Yankees offense. Now he goes up against this Philly offense at home. Scares me a little bit. But he has seen this Philly team before, 123 plate appearances. He's held them to a 231 batting average, 21.1 K percentage. He's done well against them. He struggled this year in some of his starts. The Jesus Lizards, so you got Jesus Luzardo going up against Arizona. Now, Arizona's been really good. Luzardo comes in with a 1.73 ERA, coming off back-to-back 23-plus fantasy points there. They've dropped him down 8K, which is kind of wild because, like, Arizona's offense is good, but the Cubs' offense has been really good, and he was 9,800 there, and now he's 9,000 here. You'd have thought he'd been a little bit cheaper against them. But, I mean, you kind of look at this, and weather's going to play a factor. I don't mind either of these pitchers, but weather will come into play here, and that kind of is what stinks a little bit. So we can look at the numbers. We can look at BVP or historical. We can see what we've got. So you've got, like, Arizona bats against Luzardo, no home runs. Left-handed pitching. You can see overall on the screen, what you can see right here, they don't hit very well against right-handed pitching or left-handed pitching. You do have Perdomo, did have a home run, I believe, yesterday. He's batting 382 with a home run against left-handed pitching this year. You got Tim Tawa. He hit a home run yesterday. He's a very cheap option if you want to get him in a lineup there. Make sure he's starting. But outside of that, like, normally, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., last year anyway, we took him. He was hitting like 300 against lefty. Kind of the same thing with Eugenio Suarez. Last year, hitting very well against lefties. This year, for the first month, they have not hit very well. So, I mean, you could use that to your advantage. You can see that the majority of them don't hit lefties well. The problem is, if he doesn't go deep in the game, they go into the bullpen. And you can, if you guys want to check out how bad the bullpen is, go to MLB here. Scroll down and go to MLB bullpen stats. So this is updated in the morning. So after all the stats are entered from the night before, this will be updated. And you can see how they do. But you can see, I mean, depending on how you want to sort it, you want to sort it by the word or like by the team. So then you go through and you say, yeah, so Jesus Luzardo's out. Now it's Philly's bullpen. So Philly bullpen, 5.03 ERA. They just demoted, or no, it's been a mess for them. Their bullpen's kind of been a mess. They've given up how many home runs? 13 home runs. You can just see, and then you can go through and you can see how it ranks home run wise or whatever. But you can see they're down here, bottom third. And just however you want to, San Diego's bullpen's been the best. The worst bullpen has been Washington. And Philly is the 4th worst bullpen out there right now. So if Luzardo doesn't go deep in a game, there you go. Like, that is the kind of stats. Those are what you need to look for. So a lot of people are like, let's just look at the starting pitching and that is it. Don't do that. If you think the starting pitching might get knocked around a little bit, look at how bad the bullpen is. That could help you put up more runs. That could help you in the long run. Now, if somehow Luzardo gives up like 8 runs in the first inning, they may just leave him out there and rest the bullpen. That's always a scenario. We saw that with Kyle Gibson against the Yankees the other day. They put him out there and he gave up a lot of earned runs and they just didn't want to bring the bullpen out. So those are the kind of things that happen. But in this one, let's just kind of monitor the weather. Philly bats, obviously, if it is in fact Merrill Kelly, which it has not 100% been confirmed, but Kyle Schwarber, again, boomer bust, a home run or nothing really. Trey Turner, batting 290 on the year. You could always look at him. You could look at Johan Rojas, would be a cheap option for a Friday night. You could look there. Bryce Harper obviously makes sense. Alec Boehm, JT Realmuto, like the usual suspects for the Phillies. Just kind of wait for the lineup to come out and kind of see how it goes. So there you go. That is the 3-game early slate. We are now going to look at the main slate for you. Got a big main slate. We've got some great matchups and some great pitching. We do have weather concern yet again. Same system, kind of. Got KC at Baltimore, Tampa Bay at New York. Both have weather concerns. The Dodgers at the Braves, weather concern there. Then you have New York Mets at St. Louis Cardinals. We have weather concern there as well. So let's just take a look. Kansas City, Baltimore, starting off. Now, again, the wind, as of right now, is blowing out. So that could be good as long as the weather holds up. So Michael Wacha versus Dean Kramer. Again, Baltimore's starting pitching has been very suspect this year. Michael Wacha comes in 3.38 ERA. Great start against Houston. Got 3 times value there. Almost 4 times value against Houston. And then a bad start against Detroit. Bad start against the Yankees. Bad start against Minnesota. So he's had one good start this year. Now he goes into Baltimore. Now their offense has been pretty good. Their pitching is what's suspect here. Then you got Dean Kramer coming in. He's got a 7 ERA. They're putting him out for 5 to the 6th inning, but he's not getting any fantasy points. Kansas City's offense has been kind of lackluster this year. I don't think that matters. I think I would 100% be looking at this game here offensively. I don't think I'm looking at pitching. With the wind blowing out and the bad matchups here in pitching, Kramer's already faced the Royals once this year, 2 strikeouts, 4 ERA. Not ideal. Kansas City, Michael Wacha has faced Baltimore, 6 earned runs, 7 points. So he did have some strikeouts, but yeah, I'm not looking at that. I would be looking at stacking on both sides if we want to look at this. So Sal Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, Jonathan India, Bobby Witt Jr. I would look at. Baltimore bats against Wacha. Like Ryan Mountcastle is hitting him very well. 455 batting average, 3 bombs against him. Rushman, he has struggled, but does have a home run against him. Urias would be a cheap option as a home run. Cedric Mullins, batting 391 against him with 2 bombs. Mullins also steals bases. So depending on the lineup that comes out, those are probably the bats that I would look at. I am avoiding the pitching in this one, not only because of the weather, but because the pitching it's not good. Tampa Bay at New York Yankees. We just saw them face each other a week and a half ago, I think. Max Fried in that game, 4-0, went to the 8th inning there, had only 2 strikeouts, so a low amount of strikeouts, 22.3 fantasy points. Tampa Bay's offense has not looked good. I get it. He went 7.2 innings in that one. So pretty decent and kind of uncharacteristically only had 2 strikeouts. If weather holds off, I do like this. I do like Max Fried here at 9,500. I don't really like Tampa Bay's offense. And then Pepio. We see Pepio come in. Splits-wise, he's already faced the Yankees once this year. 6 hits allowed in 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs, 7 Ks. He did have 17.3 fantasy points in that game. Did take the loss. That was the exact same matchup we saw on April 20th. And it could be the same thing. So they're playing in the Yankee Stadium in Tampa or wherever the George Steinbrenner Field, wherever the actual stadium is. So it's kind of the same dimensions. It depends on how the weather is, but I would look at the Yankees offense and I would look at Max Fried. And I mean, Aaron Judge, he's the best hitter on the planet right now. You cannot argue that. You can try, but he is the best hitter on the planet right now. He obviously anchors your lineup if you're stacking the Yankees. Goldschmidt is right up there, right behind him. I would look at those 2. If Jason Dominguez gets in there, I don't know why he's been sitting, but if he gets in there, I like Jason Dominguez there. Trent Grisham has been killing it lately. He's in there as stack as well. And then it just depends on the lineup. You want cheap option, you could look at Oswaldo Cabrera or whoever's going to be playing third. You would think they don't play Pablo Reyes and they call somebody better up since they had an off day on Thursday. We'll see. But if I'm looking at this game, it's Max Fried and it's the Yankees offense. Cleveland at Toronto is the next game that we've got to look at. And in this matchup, Logan Allen versus Chris Bassett. Now, Bassett's been really good this year. 2.62 ERA. He's had 2 bad starts, one against Houston's offense and one against the Yankees. Gave up 4 earned runs in both of those games. But prior to that, he was killing it. 32.3 against Atlanta. 17.2 against Boston, 30.6 against the Mets. He does have a little bit better matchup here against Cleveland. The problem is Cleveland's offense can hit as well. And then you got Logan Allen. Couple years removed from being really dominant. 4.21 ERA coming off a terrible start against Boston. A really good start against Pittsburgh considering he was 5,600. He is now only 6,000. The fact that he's this cheap, I'm okay with that. 6,000 allows you to pay up at other positions. So you could go him, you could go Scooble in your lineup. I just think it's a great matchup here. I think both of these pitchers are good. At the moment, I'm not really looking at bats. Now, once we have some, 100% sure what the weather's going to do, we've got 20,000 simulations under our belt. Once all of that is there, then I'll kind of look at the bats. But the bats wise, I'm not really looking at any right now. I kind of like both pitchers. I think both are tournament only. I think Chris Bassett is more geared towards cash at 9,300, but at 6,000, Logan Allen allows you to do some things. But again, Toronto can hit lefties. So if you are looking for some, probably Andres Jimenez against his former team, if you think he's going to have a revenge game or whatever scenario you think that's going to be, that could be one. I would look at, obviously, Vladdy against a lefty, George Springer against a lefty. I would also take a look at Bo Bichette against a lefty as well. So there's just other ones you can look at, but right now I'm looking at the pitching in this one. Minnesota at Boston is the next game. You got Joe Ryan versus, they think it's going to be Walker Buehler. They are not 100% confirmed that it will be Walker Buehler, so that is why it's not showing up here. Buehler, Sunday, last pitch on Sunday? No, picked up the win in second game of Saturday's doubleheader. So it should be his turn to pitch in this game. Not really good start against Cleveland. A really great start against the White Sox. Kind of middle of the road against Tampa Bay, which their offense is not that ideal. Comes in with a 4.28 ERA. He does face Minnesota, who this year has started off struggling. They put up some runs lately, though. Walker Buehler at 8K might be too much for me. But Joe Ryan, because Boston strikes out the fourth most out of any team, Joe Ryan this year, you can see 11 Ks against the Angels. Angels strike out the second most. So against teams that are supposed to strike out a ton, he's been pitching very well against them. Coming off 38.8 there, he's only 9K. I realize this is on the road in Boston, and Boston's offense can come alive at any time. I really like Joe Ryan here. Batting-wise, I'm not really looking at bats right now. If you wanted to buck the trend off of Joe Ryan, obviously you could look at Jared Duran, you could look at Trevor Story if he plays, you could look at Alex Bregman. I don't know if he'll start, but maybe Rob Refsnyder would be a cheap option. You could look at those guys, but I really do like Joe Ryan. Minnesota bats, honestly, none jump out at the moment, but Edward Julian you could look at. You could look at Trevor Larnach. You could look at Carlos Correa. You could look at Byron Buxton, if it is in fact Walker Buehler, because he has struggled in the past and does have an elevated ERA here. So those are what I'd look at, but if I were to take a picture in that one, it's definitely Joe Ryan today. The Athletics at Miami. So Miami is a team that strikes out quite a bit as well. But the pitching matchup here is not to my liking. It is not 100% confirmed that this is the pitching matchups. It's supposed to be, because both of them, it's their turn in the rotation, but we can't break this game down because we don't know yet. And this is kind of how it feels. Certain teams, you just don't have a pitcher listed till very late. Now, it could be Adam here, but we don't know. He has no stats. I don't even know if he's on the team right now. I wouldn't look at these. Obviously, if I were to look, most likely I'm going to be stacking the Athletics, depending on the pitcher there. So we can't cover this game right now, but it will be covered in the projections. It'll be covered everything on the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. If you want to check it out for a week, definitely give us a look. But yeah, I mean, if I were to take one, it would be the Athletics. We don't know who's pitching right now. You got the Dodgers at the Braves. You got Yamamoto versus Grant Holmes. There is some weather. Yamamoto comes in. He's averaging 24.4. He's 10,300. The Braves have stunk it up this year. I don't think that should come as a shock. Atlanta, though, they have dropped down the list. They rank 18th. They're striking out an average of 8.50. Yamamoto, definitely be looking at him as your pitcher. Is coming off a a bad game against Pittsburgh. He had 4 walks in that game and only 5 strikeouts, 13.9. The time before that against Texas, 36.8, 33.7, 19.9. Like, he's had some good games. So in my mind, I'm looking at Yamamoto. I think a lot of people will. If you want to buck the trend and go against it because the ownership should be lower, you can always do that. You could definitely look at a Brave stack of some sort of Matt Olson, Michael Harris. You could look at Alex Verdugo, especially if he's leading off. You could look at, depending, Austin Riley is there as well. So just kind of looking at those, you definitely could. Ozzy Albies obviously makes sense too. But I really like Yamamoto here. And then the Dodger stack really depends. It's Grant Holmes. Grant Holmes comes in. He's 7,200, which is wild to me. He's got a 4.50 ERA, gross, disgusting mustache or greasy hair and probably mustache. He looks like he smells like Fritos. You got Arizona. Bad start. 4 fantasy points there. He faced the Dodgers back on May 31st. 4 innings, 4 earned runs, 2.2 fantasy points. I could feel like maybe this is good. Let's stack the Dodgers. Depending on the lineup, obviously Mookie, Freddie, Shohei, Teoscar Hernandez, Kike, whoever's in this lineup, Tommy Edman. I don't trust Grant Holmes against this Dodgers team. But the weather's going to be a little weird, so let's kind of wait because I don't know what to expect from this weather. Houston at the White Sox is the next game. And it has been confirmed. It is Framber Valdez versus the Jonathan Cannon. Valdez here, 8,800. Splits-wise, he's not faced the White Sox this year. It is in. So the weather scares me a little bit. And he's had some bad games. Like, he had a good game against Kansas City. 2 bad games, one against San Diego, one against St. Louis. A great game against Seattle. The White Sox are a bad team, though. So I would look at Framber here. And then Jonathan Cannon. We suggested him against the Athletics his last start. 7.2 innings. He went to the 8th inning, had 3 earned runs, a home run against him, 5 strikeouts. Put up 20.5 at 6,800. They've dropped him down to 6,300. So I think Framber's both cash and tournament. I think you could get away with Cannon for tournaments. But I don't know. It just depends. I mean, he's gone 6 innings and 7.2, but then didn't make it to the 5th, didn't make it out of the 5th, didn't make it to the 4th, didn't complete 4 innings. So he's had really bad games and he's had a couple of good games. So he would be tournament only. Batting wise, it's Astros for me. So depending on the lineup that comes out, you could look at Jeremy Pena, you could look at Yordan, you could look at Jose Altuve, DeZenzo, whoever's in there, the starting lineup. Kind of wait for the starting lineup, but I'm not really liking the White Sox bats. Seattle at Texas, you've got Brian Wu versus Jack Leiter. So Seattle, they do strike out. They're outside of the top 5 right now, but I believe they're top 6. Yeah, Seattle's top 6. So Seattle strikes out an average of 8.93. But Jack Leiter comes in. We don't know which Jack Leiter we're going to get. So they've seen him. So Brian Wu, 76 career plate appearances against him, 250 batting average. Jack Leiter, 23 plate appearances. So basically the equivalent of about 1 start. 30.4 K%. So he's had success against them. And you look at the game logs, he has not faced them this year. He's had 2 good starts, a bad start, his last start in a great matchup for him. He only went 3.1 innings, but he was at 76 pitches. So you can see he's not gone more than 82 pitches. So if he gets into a little bit of trouble, they're going to pull him out. That's my only problem. But tournament-wise at 7,300 against a Seattle team that strikes out, I'm okay with that. Brian Wu against Texas. Faced him back on April 12th. 7 innings in that game, 7 strikeouts, 27.6. He had a great start there. I would look at that again. So again, this is on the road. And you can see he does have a 4.26 ERA on the road, but that's kind of what I would look at. I don't mind whatsoever there that I think both pitchers are in play. I think both are probably only tournament. Batting wise, at the moment, I don't want any of the bats here. I'd rather take the pitching. Probably both tournaments, but you're going to save a little bit of money with Jack Leiter at 7,300. So Chicago versus Milwaukee. But before we get there, we're going to do the keyword, which is Friday. You guys already probably could guess what the keyword is, but it is there. Friday is what we're going with. So we got the Cubs at Milwaukee. We got Ben Brown versus Quinn Priester. So the Cubs were able to handle Paul Skeens yesterday, and if you watch the video, I said that I was like Paul Skeens was going to be the highest owned probably, and the Cubs offense has been pretty good. So if you wanted to go against him, a Cub stack didn't it made a lot of sense. And I mean, they had 3 or 4 home runs in that game. A Cub stack took it down. It helped us take it down. Yesterday, I would love to know if you guys used the Cubs as a stack on Thursday. How much money did you win? I'm all very curious how you guys do. But new game, we got Ben Brown versus Quinn Priester. So Brown comes in, he's got a 6 ERA. Bad start against Philly, decent against Arizona, but didn't hit value. Really good start against the Dodgers that nobody was on really. But he's had some bad games. In this ballpark, I don't trust that. Quinn Priester, I don't trust him either. He hasn't faced the Cubs, he hasn't faced the Cubs this year. But I would look at offenses on both sides. I don't trust the pitching as much as I would like the offensive. What I mean by that is Cubs bats against Priester. Suzuki does have a home run. Basically, that's it there. Against right-handed pitching this year, so weather's not going to be a concern. It's in a dome or a retractable roof. Carson Kelly batting .410 this year against righties, 6 home runs. Obviously, he makes a ton of sense. Michael Busch, .289 batting average with 5 bombs. He makes a ton of sense. Seiya Suzuki, batting .261 with 6 bombs. I think he has 8 now. I think he had 2 home runs on Thursday against righties. Kyle Tucker obviously makes sense. He had a home run as well. Pete Crow Armstrong has been on fire too. So I'm looking at Cubs bats here. Honestly, and I've done this in the past, and you guys know this, I think the Cubs make a ton of sense to have 2 or 2 plus different stacks here. What I mean by that is FanDuel, you can only do 4 total. DraftKings, you can only have 5 batters total. But maybe you like 6 or 7 batters out of the 9 for the Cubs. This is where you flip it up, switch it up a little bit, and get some different bats in there as a stack. So pretty much the only bats that I don't really like is Justin Turner, Brujan if he gets in there, John Birdie, Miguel Amaya, Nicky Lopez if he's even in there. Other than that, I like everyone in this lineup. And then the flip side, Milwaukee bats against Ben Brown. No one's had success. No one has a hit against him. And basically 1 start. So, 1 start, not much, but then you got William Contreras against righties this year, batting .324 with 3 bombs. You've got Bryce Terang batting .343. I know he's day-to-day, so monitor that. Collins, .462. I don't know if he gets in there, but he could be in there. Christian Yelich got 5 bombs, .257. Like, these are the bats that make sense. Caleb Durbin would be another one. But if you want to get crazy, Ben Brown at 7,500, I don't mind. I don't love it, but if you're one that makes like 20 plus lineups a day, I think Cubs stack and Ben Brown make a lot of sense. So then we have New York Mets at the Cardinals. We do have weather concern here, so pay attention. You got Sonny Gray versus Clay Holmes. So Clay Holmes, 35 plate appearances. Obviously, not much of this is from when he started. Overall, though, he does have 1 start against the Cardinals this year. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 6 Ks. I don't know how he's doing what he's doing as a starter. I don't. But he is doing some great. I mean, he's got .264 ERA. The wheels will fall off at some point. I am very sure about that. Weather's concerned, though. And then you've got Sonny Gray going up against the Mets, .360 ERA. He faced them once this year, 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, 15.3, which was not enough. The Mets offense lost the game on Thursday, but Juan Soto did, come around and have a couple of home runs. So everyone's back on him right now. He's probably going to disappoint in this game, go 0-4. It just seems that's what he does when he has a good game. But then you can see, like, some of these Mets bats have had success against Sonny Gray. Like, Lindor's batting .455 with 3 bombs against him. Pete Alonso has a home run against him. Marte, Soto, Tyrone Taylor, they all have a home run against him. You got to figure out who's going to be starting. Against right-handed pitching this year, Lindor's batting .311. Francisco Alvarez batting .286. Mark Vientos batting .235. Pete Alonso's batting .329. Acuna batting .283. Like, I would use these guys. But then you see, like, Juan Soto against righties this year, batting .214. He's not doing very good. I think a lot of people are going to be on him. I feel like a Soto fade, and I'd rather pay up for Lindor or Pete Alonso if I'm going in a stack. Cardinals bats against Clay Holmes, not much. Against right-handed pitching this year, Arenado's got 3 bombs. You got Brendan Donovan batting 377. You've got Victor Scott batting 279. Mason Wynn batting 250. Like Burleson batting 306. I don't mind them, but the way Clay Holmes is pitching right now, you might want to take him until the wheels do fall off, which they probably will soon, but take the hot hand while you can. But weather might just null that game and void it completely. Then one of my favorite ones, Detroit at the Angels. Tariq Skubal versus Jose Soriano. I want Skubal here. I don't want Soriano in DFS, at least cash, but Detroit does strike out 5th most out of any team, and Detroit strikes out an average of 10.2 on the road. So Soriano at 6,900, you can almost save 4,000 and go with him. It could be a low-scoring game. Offensively, I'm not really looking at this game right now. We don't know what's wrong with Mike Trout. It's not been confirmed what's wrong with him, I should say. So I will look at Skubal. He's my top picture of the video and the article for a reason. I would definitely use him. Soriano. Tournament, yes. But that's probably it. Probably not looking at much else. Offensively, it would probably be Detroit's offense. So Kerry Carpenter, you could look at Gleyber Torres, obviously. You could take a look at, let's just see. Zach McKinstry's got a really, I think his on base is ridiculous. Let's see what OBP is, if I recall, or OPS. McKinstry 818, so it's lower, but that's against righties. Against the overall for the year, McKinstry 884. So you can see the majority, like Riley Green makes a ton of sense. Kerry Carpenter makes sense. I would look at Gleyber Torres, Colt Keith, Dingler. I would look at. Those are probably the ones I'd look at. Angels bats against Soriano. None jump out on paper, like Soler maybe against left-handed pitching. Tyron Paris, but he's cooled off. Darno would be a cheap catching option. Darno, we usually like to take against lefties, but again, I really like Skubal today. That's probably where my heart is. Probably Detroit bats and Skubal overall. And then the final game, Colorado at San Francisco. Now, we do have Robbie Ray versus the team that strikes out the most. So Robbie Ray, only 16 plate appearances against them, 62.5 K percentage. So what is that? 9 out of 16 batters have struck out against him. Or 10. I'm not good at math. I would look at Robbie Ray. I'm not looking at Colorado. And then Sensatella. We stacked against Sensatella on, was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. 4 earned runs in that game, 3 home runs against Cincy. That was in Colorado. This is on the road. This is a pitcher's park, but I would still be looking at San Francisco bats here. I would look at Robbie Ray and then San Francisco bats. So Robbie Ray's 8,600, which if you look at this overall, Skubal's at the top. And then you come down, and Robbie Ray's down in the middle. So, I mean, that's in the middle. You never know. But I love Skubal today. I love Robbie Ray, probably second or third. I like Yamamoto too. But then San Francisco bats that we could look at. So the bats that make sense for San Francisco. Willy Adames does have a home run against Senzatella. That is it. But against right-handed pitching this year, I would definitely look at Mike Yastrzemski. I would look at Elliot Ramos. I would look at Wilmer Flores. I would look at Willy Adames. That's probably it. Jung Ho Lee, I would definitely look at as well. Batting 307 against righties. It is a pitcher's ballpark, though, so we might not get the hits that we are looking for. But there you go. There you have it. That is every game broken down. Early slate, main slate, pitchers, batters, everything. We are now going to give you all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. Now, these can and will change once we do 20,000 simulations, so be on the lookout for that. But these are your early ones that we are expecting. Now, it does take into effect weather, but we're so far out from weather right now. You kind of got to pay attention. And that's kind of, these are early. Check back normally about an hour and a half from first pitch. But overall, 10 out of 10. Now, the record is 38 from 2 days ago. We're not going to beat 38 today. I promise you that. So here we go. These are all the batters currently through 10,000 sim. Shohei Ohtani's number 1. Number 2 is Aaron Judge. 3 is Fernando Tatis Jr. 4 is Bobby Witt Jr. 5 is Kyle Tucker. 6 is Freddie Freeman. 7 is Vladdy. 8 is Jorge Polanco, who's been absolutely on fire. 9 is Mike Yastrzemski. 10 is Willy Adames. 11 is Manny Machado. 12 is Xander Bogaerts. 13 Mookie Betts. 14 Anthony Santander. 15 Matt Chapman. 16 Ian Happ. 17 Bo Bichette. 18 Yordan Alvarez. 19 George Springer. 20 Stephen Kwan. 21 Jung Ho Lee. 22 Wilmer Flores. 23 Elliot Ramos. You can see that loves San Francisco. 24 Dalton Varsho. 25 Lamont Wade Jr. 26 Alejandro Kirk. And 27 Patrick Bailey against Antonio Sensatella. So there you go. We had 27 there. We're now going to do Pitches Be Crazy. Now, not necessarily going to use all of these, but there are some great matchups here. We've already talked about them, but we'll go in here. So number 1, Pitch Be Crazy. Robbie Ray versus Colorado. Colorado strikes out 10.4 times per game, 10.53 on the road, and this is a pitcher's park. Tariq Skubal versus the Angels. Angels strike out 9.59 times per game, 10 times at home. Number 3, Ryan Pepio at New York Yankees, 9.55 times per game, 8.73 at home. I don't know if I'd use Pepio here, but he's on there. Number 4 is Joe Ryan at Boston. Boston strikes out 9.16 times per game, 8.64 on the road. And finally, Jose Soriano versus the Tigers. Tigers strike out 9.13 times per game, 10.2 on the road. So to reiterate, it is Robbie Ray, number 1. Number 2 is Tariq Skubal. Number 3 is Ryan Pepio. Number 4 is Joe Ryan. And number 5 is Jose Soriano. Now, I did forget to mention, but a huge way to help out the channel, watch these videos multiple times a day, let the watch time go the entire way through, and click on the ads. We had the best month we've ever had in ad revenue, and it's from you guys. It's just from YouTube, and it's been amazing. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. If you can't afford FTA Plus or to tip us, clicking on the ads on these videos helps out way more than you know. Okay. So looking at batters we think will get over 1.5 bases today. Number 1, Ohtani versus Grant Holmes, as long as the weather holds off. Number 2 is Fernando Tatis Jr. 3 is Aaron Judge. 4 is Mike Yastrzemski. 5 is Bobby Witt Jr. 6 is Manny Machado. 7 is Bo Bichette. 8, Willy Adames. 9, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. 10, Freddie Freeman. And 11, Jung Ho Lee going up against Antonio Sensatella. We have 11 batters there. I'm not saying parlay all of them together, but those are the top ones that we really like that we really think have a great shot at over 1.5 bases. And then the final one are strikeouts. Some pitchers I'm looking at. Tariq Skubal against the Angels. I'm looking about 7 to 8 plus strikeouts is where I would find the line. Number 2 is Robbie Ray against the Rockies. I would look at 7 to 8 as well. 7 to 8, not 78. 3 is Yamamoto versus the Braves, looking right around 5 to 6 strikeouts. Max Fried versus Tampa Bay, 5 to 6 strikeouts there. Again, though, against this team, he only had 2 last time. And then Sonny Gray going up against the Mets, looking at about 5 to 6 strikeouts as well. So find where the line is, see what value you have, see which book has value, and go with those. So there you go. That is what we've got for your Friday. Hopefully it is a fantastic day for you. We'll be back with a video for Saturday slate. We'll break those two, early and main. We'll break all of that down for you. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything, hit that like button and leave a comment so the algorithm thinks you love us maybe more than our parents love us. So that's what I've got in this video. Good luck. Let's have a great Friday, whether or not you're sports betting, whether or not you're playing DFS, whether or not you're just enjoying life. Have a great day. Good luck. As always, bring home that bacon.